So let's get started. Okay. So yesterday we started with basic EC2 instances, and then we also covered 6 simple applications. Okay. We saw something about S3. Today we'll go ahead, we'll launch and we'll deploy a Flask application. Then we will see some GitHub pipelines. We will deploy a Spring Boot application on Elastic Beanstalk. Okay. We will see few videos on virtualization, containerization, and also we are going to cover like some other topics. Okay. For example, we have RDS, what is SAS, PaaS, and IAS. All those things will be covering. Okay. During today's session. So to get started with, first let us try to understand. Yesterday what we did, we created an instance, we created a virtual server, and from there on we were able to deploy something, right? We were able to deploy our JustSync or our own basic portfolio. Now Amazon also gives us a very good functionality of being serverless, and we can create our own lambdas. Okay. So has anyone heard about lambdas here? Or anyone studied about lambda? What is lambda? Now once you go to this console, and here if you search for lambda, so here you can just search for lambda. Now this is lambda. Okay. Here all of you can just go and run this particular UI, or you can use this UI. And again, AWS is generous enough to give us good documentation and good videos. Now here you can run your code without managing servers. Okay. As Lambda says, I will walk you through the AI, like UI as well, and what we have this AI console also, where we are describing what we want. But try to understand, right now we have to create a server, and in that server only we can deploy something. But with the coming of Lambda, it has become, you can say, evolutionary, where we don't have to create any server, and based on our function, we can create some triggers. Okay. We can create an event, and based on that event, we can do some functionality. So let us try it out. First, let us see what is this AWS Lambda. As here as it is mentioned, you can run a code without managing servers. Okay. And below, if you see, here like how it works. Here you have different runtimes which are present. If it is a .NET application, you can just use .NET. If there is a Java, you can use Java. If there is Python, you can just use Python, and you can print something. Okay. On the left hand side, they have their AI. You can just describe what you want. So for example, let's suppose I want to create a lambda in Python such that whenever there is an image upload in S3, image processing can happen, okay, or an event can trigger, something like that you can ask. Okay. Now based on this, you can see that it will tell us what we can do. So first thing is we can create the lambda function. Okay, like how do we create a lambda function? We will come here again. So basically what we want, for example, let's suppose, I give you an example, let's suppose there is traffic cameras. Okay. There are traffic cameras which policemen has installed on the roads. Now what is going to happen? So basically, traffic cameras are going to capture an image. Yes. And they are going to capture an image, and they will write a function behind the scene, or the software that they are using. What they must be doing is, if someone is out of speed, or like I say, out of the limit of that speed, then what they are going to do is he accept a number plate, and whenever there's a new upload in S3, a lambda gets triggered. Okay? Lambda is nothing but a function. So basically what it is going to do, it is going to filter out the name and the value which is associated with that particular number plate. Second, what is the challan for a particular punishment or for a particular violation of anything. And then you will be receiving a message. So a trigger is going to happen whenever there is an image upload, and lambda will run behind the scene. So the same fashion you can see here, what is happening here. So what we can do, again, this is just the images that they have mentioned. So I can expand this. So here we can see that first we have to create a lambda function. Lambda function is nothing but our code. Okay. For image processing, this is the Python code that it has given to us. So it has imported all these things, and here it is defining the event. Okay. And in a particular bucket name, it is going to store the images. And then you can try to download the image from S3. If you open the image, it is going to create a thumbnail like based on a challan or anything. And here it can have some other versions. So it can like put into this version accordingly. Keep this. Process the image. Okay, that's it. It's just a Python code that does that. Then we have created a deployment package. Okay, there is a payload library that you can create. Then you can set up the IA permissions. You don't have to worry about all these things. You can configure the REST event notification. Whenever there is going to be a new image which gets uploaded, there will be an event that we will trigger. Okay, we will see how event triggers. And alternatively, for a specific image filters, we can have, and then we can test the functionality. Okay. So this is something which happens behind the scenes whenever there are not exactly this from here, but this is how the challan processing and what is the path which comes to your phone if you receive any kind of messages. Okay. Behind the scenes something must be. Now, what we can do, here we can see like how I can just first run it. Okay. And here you can see that it is just a basic compiler which is there. Okay. Here I can create a function. I can click on this create a function. You can just author it from scratch. Function name you can just write here, let's say dummy or hello world. Okay. You can choose the runtime. Let us use only Python that you will say. And all these 6 you can keep it. Simple. Okay. Yeah, so you can see that here how we can create a function, we can set up a local development, we can write our code, we can test our code, and then we can deploy it, we can invoke. Okay. So right now let's dismiss, and it also gives us some inbuilt Visual Studio code where I can write any of my application. Yeah.
As of now, let us not do anything, just do it.
Now this is the code. Right? This is the code, and behind the scene it is using Visual Studio code. Here this is how it looks like. And here we have just created a basic function. This is nothing but a hello function. Okay. And in this, what we can do, let's first click on test. Yeah. Now, here if you click on test, as we have already seen that lambdas will work only if there is any trigger, okay, or any event is created. It could be our S3 upload, it could be any new deployment, or it could be any other event which is happening behind the scene. Only after that our lambda will perform. So here we have to create a new event. You can see that create a new test event. You can click on create a new test event, and here you can just open this. Okay. You can just kill it synchronous, or you can keep it asynchronous. You can just keep it like this. Hello world. You can just click on save. And yeah, you can keep it, let's say, test event. Now again, if I keep a test, so you can see that here it is saying
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, see. In my
okay, fine. So now you can see that here what is happening. We have created this event, okay, and we have already one event, and here is the output. So if I click on test, you can see that asynchronous key invocation sent successfully, and what are the execution results. Okay, and if I look at the terminal, this is even not required. We can just have
Easy.
or here also you can add a trigger. Okay, you can create some kind of trigger. You can think of a trigger based on these things. If there is any API hit or if there is any watch logs, if new logs are added, how you can process those logs, or give them some real-time streaming data. Okay, or even generally what happens whenever you are streaming. For example, let's suppose you are streaming a live match. Okay, now in live match, based on your location from where you are watching, based on your age, and based on your particular gender, you might get some customized ads. Okay, so if you are a youth or if you are a student, accordingly they will target specific ads to you. Okay, similarly, if you are in a certain part of the country, let's suppose if you are in the southern part of the country or if it is the northern part of the country, accordingly these streaming apps are going to generate customized ads for you. Fine? Can you hear me? Any guys? Yeah. For like this, we can like perform different kinds of triggers. These are the triggers that we perform. Okay. Now here you can see, you can show up to 75 GBs of code or different functions, and Lambda will only make it. So again, we are not creating any triggers. It is just showing you there are different triggers out there. So we created one Lambda function. You don't have to worry about all these things. I'm just getting a flip to here. If there is any head, so that will let go. Okay. So here we have this because we have this function. This is the runtime. We can click on this hello world. And in this hello world, you can see it's a very basic function that we have created. And if I click on test, you can see that it is going to invoke a function. First, the function will invoke, and that function or that trigger will invoke my laptop. And this is something that is going to happen. Okay.
Yes.
And on the left hand side, these are the test events that you can see. What is the event name and what is the test event? And this is a test event. Invoke your function without saving an event, configure the JSON event, and then choose the test. Okay. So what is this key and value pair? Yeah, so if I pass any key, I should get a value there. Okay. And this is a test event that forms the structure of request emitted by JSON service. Okay. And if I get status code, let's say
Status code is like stick.
a few happy value is here, please suggest me. I can just save it. And here, yeah, you can become something.
Yes.
Close.
Okay, now I want you to create a lambda function now. What you're going to do, you're going to go to lambda, create a function. In that function, you may choose this basin. So what you can do, you can come to lambda now, follow me, okay. Click on create function. Okay. Author from scratch, function name you can give some dummy. Runtime, choose Python or you may choose anything, okay, and keep everything same. Okay, keep everything same. And if you look about the lambdas here, so lambda AWS pricing and other features. So here you can see here, it is a free tier, up to 1 million free requests you can get. Okay, up to 1 million, that is 10 lakh series you can go, or it is equaling to like 4 lakh GB seconds of I'll give you time, okay, and after that your pricing will start. That is also $0.2, that's only 20 rupees per 1 million bits. Okay. It is very cost efficient, and the best part is it has zero server management. We do not have to create anything. We just have to create a lambda. That is nothing but a basic code which will be triggered by any kind of function. Okay. And it is what? It is that you can integrate it with different triggers. There are around 200 plus different services and SaaS applications that we can trigger from. And here you can add a test, or you will even displace. Okay. So this is our dummy function creative. Now if I click on test, okay, once it is created and then click on test, it will ask to choose the event, and here you can create a new test event. Okay. Now again, this is how the test event will look like. Okay. You can even ask if you want for you want like a future, right? From there we can see how what is test event in lambdas. Give me simple examples. Yeah. Okay. So very basic example is this is the JSON. The JSON that is being sent here, you can see that the item name is here, the price is there, or the discount is there. Okay. So you can think of this as your orders. Whenever you are going to place any kind of order, okay, on e-commerce, you will get the item name, price, and discount. And basically, whenever you receive any kind of order details, the seller will get these details. So there will be a lambda which will be written behind the scene. And here you can see, so lambda function is nothing but the Python code. We're going to read the data from the event, does the match, and return the response. Okay, and then how can you execute the result? When you click on the test button, lambda returns your code with this. So let us just copy this and let's see if it works or not. Okay. I will share the code, don't worry. I will share the code. So let me write here, let's say some dummy test. Let it be synchronous, and here are the is a value that we can put in. I will save it. And here we can just copy this. We need just copy this. See? And can you see we are getting this status we are getting? What is the event, what is the request ID? And the status code we are getting, and the body also we are getting hello from lambda. Now why we are getting this output? Why this?
Yes, this is good. It says. Yes. Tracy. Tracy. This is it permit is froze. This see it there. Sacadex das is das sorry is it's this какая дикиди и подивіться, і все. Піці, все. Дай. Віз. Єй. І. Пиди. Ти. Ціки. Ти. Я не... Сіс. Сіс. Боїться. Себе сидить.
So right now it is triggering this event. Definitely what is happening here to see. It is triggering this event and this is hello from lambda, which is getting triggered. What is this? Let me change the function. There are two functions in this. One is hello world and one is dummy.
GDK. 이들이 수고요. 오케이.
Is.
Inward. System. Yes. WC. Okay, so we did not deploy the code. Now let's see if it works.
Yeah, now it is working. Tish. So this is very simple. What we have done, I will share this code on WhatsApp. So I think all of you have done. So we did nothing like in the event. You can give any kind of event names. Okay, this is the event code that we're writing, and this is the normal function that you're writing. And you can copy it there, and once you're writing it, you can deploy your CV. Okay, we were just testing it out. That's why it was not deployed. Now what we are doing, we have mapped the event or test event, and once again click on dummy test, and you can see that the final price of the wireless headphone is so and so. And what is the event? This is the event. So whenever item name, price and discount is being triggered, what we can do, it will go to return this particular thing, the price, discounts and the event. And then you deploying this one, kick off. Deploy touchy. Because you are testing it, deploy it, and then you click on this deploy. Once it's deployed, your code change will come here, and then you can give on many of the triggers.
Therefore, aspects.
Click on the testing.
See.
So we have created a lacas.
See. You say you. Are you sauce? Yep. Yeah. Is this? See. You baby.
So again I will repeat. Okay. Again I will repeat. And just follow me. I will do the same steps so that you can also follow along with me. Okay. So what is a lambda expressor? I just close everything. Lambdas are nothing but they are serverless code execution that you can do. Okay. Now, for a lambda to trigger, there has to be an event. Okay. Event can be anything. For example, you upload any image, you upload or you create any process, Accordingly, that lambda on the function will get invoked. So what we will be doing is, first thing is, you will create a new function. Okay. Name this function as, let's say, custom or anything. Okay. Now we are using the environment as Python. So we will use Python here. So if you use any other format, it will not work. And you just keep everything unchanged. Okay. Okay, so you can see that our custom is created. Okay. And this is a basic Python code that it has created, right? Now in this, what we can do, you can think of a scenario where, let's suppose on Flipkart or on Amazon or even on Blinkit, when you order something, right? When you're ordering something, the item values or IDs or the price will go to the seller also. Yes or no? Seller will get notified because that now I have to pack this item and I need to dispatch it. A delivery boy will come to pick it and that will get shipped and it will get delivered, right? So as soon as you place an order, a trigger is happening. That trigger will come in form of some JSON values. So for example, let me create a new test event. What is the event? I can again keep this as, let's say, custom. And here are the values that it will pass. Okay. So right now I'm passing these values. So let's suppose this notification will come to my seller that there is a wireless headphone which has been ordered. The price of that is 100 and I need to give the discount of 50. Okay. I will just save this event. Okay. Now whenever this kind of event occurs, whenever there is any order which comes to a seller, seller must do something, right? For that, there is a function that we need to write. And this is the function that I am writing. Okay. You copy the entire code. And in this, you can write your own function. Okay. You can write whatever you want. It can be you have to send a message, or you have to send a notification, or even you have to, acknowledge that your order has been received. Okay, something like you can do. In here we are writing, this is the code, the final price for the item is so and so. Once you have done it, you need to deploy it. Until you deploy it, the changes will not occur. Okay? I will keep on deploying, it is now deploying by this custom. First, we added the test event, then we saved it, then we added our lambda function, and then we are deploying all of this. Now, once I deploy all of this, what is going to happen next? Now it is tested out. If I just run this or invoke this function, this is a trigger. First trigger will get in. Once I invoke this trigger, and accordingly lambda will get executed, and this is the final price of wireless is this, or you can even add your message. The final price of, or you can message here like order received successfully. The final price for the item is so and so. Now you have to deploy your code again. Okay, you have to deploy your updated function on lambda. It is serverless. Okay, we are not configuring server, we are just configuring the lambda. And now again, if I test it, so again, if I invoke this, you can see that order received successfully, and this will shoot via email or you might get a notification. Understood this part anyone? Any doubts anyone? We can even change the values of the custom. This is just a test event. Okay, we can even change this test event. So I can come here and I can say that, so wireless headphones, let's suppose you dispatch a book. Okay, the price of this and there is discount, let's say 0. That's it. Okay, accordingly, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to save it. And once I save it, I can directly remove it. Okay, and this is in. So we don't have to deploy our code for invoking any test or trigger. Only our lambda should get deployed. Okay, lambda is nothing but a piece of code which is going to execute something, and it is independent of the server or it is independent of the virtual service. Is it clear everyone? Clear?
Now let's try to understand how this. So I already have it with me. May I?
It is. Yeah.
CD. What is AWS virtualization? Okay.
Okay. Voice, audio is connected to this. Okay, if it is not connected, no worries. I will share it only WhatsApp. You just go through this video once. Go through this video. Okay. In this will understand. I've shared it over your WhatsApp. You can open it directly. In this, what is going to happen? You will see how virtualization happens behind the scene. Now, since it is not connected to stickers, I'm going to take
Voices. So this probably theater for it to even in the So I'll explain under the parallels. Yeah, actually what was the PDs. So behind the scene what happens?
and also we have workforce cloud virtualization.
That's the key. This is cash. This cash. This is
Six.
Okay, so that the bits in the video. So basically what happens inside the entire big server there are multiple machines. Okay? These machines, what they all do?
behind the scene.
Yeah. So one machine will have multiple small sub-machines. Okay. And once these sub-machines are there, each will have their allocated ID. Right? There is a hypervisor, which is nothing but a part of a virtualization layer, which will add all these machines into the thing. It has a software layer between hardware and the OS that is going to share all the resources among all these virtual machines. Okay? Think it as a property manager. Right? It will dedicate how much resources should be there. And then it go further. And then we slide the hardware and we allocate the resources, we allocate the LANs. And this is how much time it takes. It takes 0 to 10 milliseconds to schedule a CPU for VM. It takes 10 to 20 milliseconds just to switch between the CPU and 20 to 30 milliseconds when CPU RAM is allocated to a virtual machine. Incredibly so fast, it just takes only milliseconds, not even second. Okay. Within that, the virtualization happens behind the scene. And once it happens, it is divided by all the security groups, it checks, and we can have our virtualized network profile. You can watch this video later. This will help you what happens behind is how it is different from copper.
You see?
Yeah, so let's come back. Now again, why do we need serverless architecture? Because manual path infrastructure is very, very difficult for us to manage. And we can have a provisioning path, and also we use something known as elastic beanstalk. Okay, you will see what is elastic beanstalk. But when we talk about this serverless paradigm, which we use now in case of VLAN task, first thing is event driven, right? Whenever there's an event, it is going to execute. There are zero infrastructure, we don't have to, although there is infrastructure behind the scene, but we don't have to manually manage any kind of infrastructure or any kind of, any other computational. And again, if you only pay as you go for release a case, the function actually runs, and we can pay for that particular release a case, right? And up to 1 million functions is free of cost, right? That is something that we can use. And this is how we have, there's a serverless architecture, and then we have a traditional architecture. So here, for example, let's suppose if you're driving, if you're reading through an application, right? Now basically what is going to happen whenever you hit that book a ride, it is going to trigger an event that a user wants to book a ride, and that event will, that particular, in that location, what is going to happen? All your details will be sent to the nearby drivers who are available. And once they accept it, another event is triggered, and accordingly a lambda will be created behind the scenes, or accordingly executed behind the scene, which will do what? It will assign the driver details to you, and you will have a confirmation message. Everything will happen in milliseconds. Okay? And that event-driven architecture is possible with the help of lambdas or lambda functions. Clear? This part? And again, we can directly, on the peak loads, it will scale instantly, which is a very, very big power of lambdas, and it is going to reduce a lot of operational overhead. Right? We just focus on the code, what needs to be done, rather than how it needs to be done. Okay? That is something it will do to help us. And again, these are few of the tricks that we can look upon, and we can deploy our first lambda function, and we can experience the shift from the infrastructure. Now, along the same journey, so we saw S3 is a bucket where we will store any kind of data. We saw EC2 virtual servers. From virtual servers, we shifted to serverless execution. And now let us look at something known as RDS, Relational Database Systems, that is being provided by AWS. Okay. So how this will look like? So how will it look like? You can think of, you can come here. Okay, you can come to AWS. And here you will just search for RDS. Okay? And here we have Aurora and RDS. Yeah. So here, when we talk about RDS, RDS stands for what? Relational Database Service. Now, what are relational databases? You can see that when we talk about MySQL and Post, like SQL are nothing but, or MySQL server, Oracle server, these are all the relational databases. Okay. Now, RDS is very compliant towards all these SQL servers. Okay. You can directly fetch it based on the key value pair. And there is something known as Aurora, right? Aurora is nothing but, Aurora is a cloud native which is developed by AWS. It is a cloud native high performance database engine which is explicitly built in AWS. Okay, so you can explore and you can go for the tutorials here. And if you want to create anything, you can just click on create. Okay. You can configure the details. Now you can see what is the details you want. Do you want to have a master username, or do you want to have any kind of thing, right? How many instances you want, what are the maximum allocation values? Again, don't worry about these parts. This is something that you can configure and later on enter. Once you create a database, okay. So behind the scene, it is generating a Postgres. Okay. One, this is Aurora and this is RDS. So if you select here, there are two, right? One is create. This is will be done by Aurora, that is AWS inbuilt, and this will be created with full configuration. This is something that you can manually, you will have the advantage. If you click on create, these are all the engine types which are allowed that we can create. Again, we don't have to worry about the installation part. Let me only go for MySQL. Okay. Once you go with MySQL, then we can have easy create. I want it for testing. Okay. Now, this is the server name, community. Username is admin. And again, we can have anything. We can just click and I can just click on create database. That's it. First look, then right, good. Yeah, I'll come to that. So you go to databases, or you go to Aurora and RDS. On the left hand side, if you click on create, it will create Aurora. And if you create on the right hand side, if you come here, you can choose what kind of SQL server you want. If you want Oracle, you can go with Oracle. MySQL, you can go with MySQL or Postgres. If you want, you can go with this. So we created with MySQL, and you can see that this instance is created for us. Okay. So there are two databases that got created. One is related to Aurora. Okay, you can see that Aurora Postgres, and another is related to MySQL, which I created on my X. So I can delete this loop. I can click on this abstract, and I can just delete this.
Scope.
And this also I can come and I can delete.
Yeah, it will take some time to install all the packages, okay? And you can see that behind the scene, these are the configurations on which region it is there.
What is the size? Is there any recommendations or anything? Or what is the VPC? Okay. All those things will be created. What is but easy? That all you see. Look it here. It is giantable MySQL of macOS. And this endpoint and accordingly it say anything I want. Yes, yeah.
This.
Okay, let it create. You can either create Aurora or you can create anything. I just wanted to show you how it create. And next step, we will be adding some of BCP files and then we will run. Okay, but it will take some time. It will take some time to run. So let us move further. Here.
Now, so, let's do.
So till the time it is getting created, let us play quiz. Okay, what can we learn to till now? So yeah, you can join this quiz. You can go to quiz.com and type in this B.59. It's easy. So one thing, question.
Please. Wait.
Yeah, our database is also created. Okay,
And you can see that the CPU usage is there.
how many connections are there currently? There are 0 connections. Okay. Then again, what is the maintenance type of it? As of now, it says there is no backup, and will come to contest multi-use. Okay. So for you also, this might have got created, or any other instance would have got created.
So if I go inside this database,
Right here, I can see, I can monitor my database.
you can just now watch. Okay. Like how many people are using it, what is the utilization database selection.
Everything, all the logs will be provided to us by AWS.
This is the best feature. I can do the logs also, I can configure it based on it. Like how many CPUs are there, what is the RAM for this particular database is required. Yes. Yeah, when we come back to this, I will share like how we can connect it. The other script of it correctly. This is just detect, right? And you said you connecting to your particular organization.
These are the security groups. For outbound, if you want the inbound,
You can change the security groups. We'll do all these things later on. You can connect it. Array. All these things we can do it. Yeah. So, shall we start now?
okay, so let's start. First question coming up. Mostly on
What is the primary benefit of serverless computing? We saw serverless laptop computing. What is the primary benefit? So we don't manage the servers ourselves. We don't pay for the idle resources also. And applications can scale larger will pay.
we only pay for the actual usages. Okay, that is the even that is true for virtual servers also, but server is also seeing supplies. AWS Lambda is best described as what? Is it a function as a service, database service, or just
Or a storage service. So we have infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platform as a service. It will be really as function and not service. Okay?
the code that we can only write the code and we don't have to worry about any of the other things. Our lambda charge is calculated. We have seen the calculation for 1 lakh, for 1 pre-AIP fund request, there are no charges. And after that, what happens?
Based on the request and execution, I think you issue with the charge and is
Me.
it focus convert based on level is supported by Lambda. So which of this is supported by Lambda?
We have seen already
Python, there, Java, different other libraries, C++ or today, .NET, there's all of that is supported by
is supported by Lambda.
C.
Okay, what does RDS stand for? So we saw like RDS. What is the full form of RDS? Is it the relational data service, database service, remote database service, or resource database service? So the answer is relational database service. Okay. Yeah. So after 5 questions, let's see what are leaderboards. So Nitin is running at top. Who's Nitin? Nitin. Good. Harish is at 2. Modiji. Nitin is at top. So on a third place. Who is the user? Good. 5. So 5 more questions left. Let us resume. Company wants to process 10 million images upload daily with unpredictable traffic. Which architecture is the most efficient? Can they have EC2? They can have dedicated host, Lambda plus S3 or a single EC2 instance. So the answer is very simple, Lambda plus S3. You see in form of traffic, right? Images will come on S3 and S3 will take the images and process it accordingly based on the number of images. Okay, a Lambda function processes messages from SQS. Processing takes 5 minutes per message. What must be configured correctly or carefully? This is something I think most of you will get it wrong. Okay. Now processing takes 5 minutes per message. So we have to have a visibility timeout. Okay? That is, it is happening behind the scene, don't overrun it. Okay, so top 2 are now out of 10. Good. What is the biggest architectural challenge when we are moving from EC2 to Lambda? Yesterday we saw EC2, today we saw Lambda. What is the challenge that we find? Is it the user, IM users, they have to configure? Is it the stateless execution model, storage cost or VPC creation? So the answer is stateless execution model because we don't have a command, total command on the environment. Okay? Wow, also to target right? So last 2 questions coming up. Your RDF database requires high availability and read scalability. Which architecture is the best? Okay, so again, I think this topic we did not cover, but somewhere about in the night. Yeah, so it is multi-AZ plus read replicas, and from where it comes, if you look at this, yeah, this is something that I forgot to cover. Here we have here. Yeah, we have this multi-AZ. Okay, fine. I will keep it up. I want to take some more time. So let us go with the last question and then we can come back. So last question coming up, it will have double points. A lambda function times out after 15 minutes. What should you do in that case? What we can do? Can we increase the timeout further? Or can we move workload to EC2? Or can we use a large memory? Or we can add a cloud launch?
So the answer is go EC2 batch. Okay? Because EC2 or ECS will make sure that our execution is not happening. If lambda is there, it happened. Or we have another file.
Okay, so let's move forward. Now, I want to just take this time to introduce the benefits of certifications and how we can help at Certometer. Okay.
So basically, since you have chose MCA for a reason,
Sales. And now it's the time to make it count, right? In the next 12 months or maybe I think 6 months down the line, your placements will start, right? And you can see that right now you will have around 12 months, right? And right now there are over 50K graduates every year. Along with that, the best part is there are only 3% people, those who have certifications, okay? And the certification that I'll be talking about is very normal, right? So again, there's one more thing that you will be competing with. You will be competing with the BTech students along with you, right? And most of the recruiters will shortlist based you on the resumes, okay, that you will to have. And if you have a credential on it, it will be very good, okay? Now you can take any kind of credentials from anywhere, but make sure that you have some certifications out there that will make your resume stand out, because nowadays creating a project is not a challenge. That is something you can do it in minutes, right? But credentials or getting certified from any of the organization, could be Azure, could be AWS, is definitely going to help you stand out for sure. Okay? That is something I would urge that, again, degrees will not get you the room if like it doesn't get you the job. Okay? It has to be the credentials and the certifications. Now again, right now you have good amount of time, right? I'll take an example from Accenture, okay? Like if two students are applying, let's suppose you from the NC background and someone from the BTech, but in your resume you have an industry certification, right? Along with the projects, it will definitely going to help you a lot, right? And recruiter will not know how hard your MBA was. They don't know how much you have struggled with MCA, not MBA, MCA, and how much effort you have seen or you have done. But definitely your certification will value for sure. Okay? So right now you have good amount of time. I have written it 12 months, but I think in next 6 months your placement will get started, right? Within next 6 months you will be sitting for a placement. So it's the right time to do it. And again, 95% of the companies are using AWS. Only 3% of the engineers right now, either from BTech or MCA, have the certifications, and it is now recognized over 90 plus countries. Okay, that is something that we can do. This is the format. So when you start, there are only 65 questions. Okay. Now the questions are there at 70% is the cutoff. It is very much achievable. At Certometer, we have a pass rate of 99%. Okay. And again, there is no coding required. So if there's something when you are feeling that okay, I don't know coding, but will it be good for me? Yes, it will be good for you, because most of the things are infrastructure related, okay? And you don't have to do any coding. It's just you need to understand these steps, and you need to just pass the MCQs or multi-select. Now, if you go out there, this is the cost breakdown, how much it will come. So the course price, if you buy from somewhere, it is generally around 11,000, the study material. The certification cost itself is $100. So if I write here, let's say CLF C02, the exam price in India. Okay. It comes around $100. You might get some discounts. And on this $100, there is a 18% GST as well. Right? So it comes around $118, which is around 10,000. So I'll mark it as well here. Okay. So this is the price that you will be going through. The course, the reading material is around this. Certification for this is around 11,000. And if you do some simulations and mocks, it comes around 3,000. Okay. So overall it is around 20-25,000 that you will be investing. But again, I just would like to introduce Certometer here. So we at Certometer help students, mostly we do it for the professionals, but since we have got the opportunity, so I would like to also introduce Certometer here. So we help people in the certifications, and you can go through the resumes, the reviews here, like from Azure, from Microsoft, and you can see AWS, GenAI, all the certifications we do, and we have helped thousands of people, and you can see our reviews reflect, we have got 4.9, and again, we help in the certifications. So all this that you have right now, so let me come back to the slide. This is something that you are going to get, and if I open this, the entire price that you will get it for only 5,199. That's it, and that will include of GST. Okay. So again, we are not earning anything here. It is just like we want to promote Certometer to the students, and we have got a right platform. So you can enroll AWS on your own also, or you can even skip it. But if you take all these three things from us, the certification cost itself that we will be paying to Amazon is $100, right? We are not here to gain anything. Along with that, there's GST that we pay. 11,000 is something, even if you do it on your own, you will have to pay. Okay? Along with that, you will be getting the reading material courses, and you will be getting the simulation and the box. So again, this is something that we can help you with. Okay? If you are interested in enrolling, you can get Microsoft certified, Amazon certified at just 5,199. Okay, and all of these things will be there. And if you are interested, you can join us. Else, no worries, right? Okay, if you are interested, and this will be applicable for only today. If you are interested, you can just go and avail this offer. And here you will get full learning course. You will get all the mock tests. The exam will be put offline. We will help you with it. And then at the end, you are going to have your AWS digital badge. Okay? So all those things are there. You can just try it out. You can have a badge, and at the end you can stand out in your resume. You can get a better jobs. You can get high packages, and also you can accelerate in your career. Okay? So any doubts here, anyone? Anything if you want, I can help you with. Certification is something that is going to help you a lot. Again, you don't have to choose it from here, you can do it, but do it for sure. This is something which will help you for, I did when I was in engineering, so I did from Oracle, was like 40,000, but it really helped me to get a good job. My peers, they were placed at 5-6 LP, and I was way better than that time. Okay, just because of the certification, because it gives you authority, it gives you a stamp that you know something, right? And coming from Amazon, I think this will be something that you can do. If you want to go at a lower price also, you can go with Azure also, right? There is a similar certification, Azure certification, that you can go, and you can go on cloud, okay? And the cost will be relatively less. I think it will be around 3,000, 4,000. Yeah, it is around 3,690 to 4,865. It depends on the offers and all. Okay, if you want to save cost, you can go with this also. But Azure is something which is not, although it is in the market, but the value is not as compared to AWS. Okay, so yeah, you can try that out, and we will be leveraging this offer for only 10 students. That's it. Okay, and post that we will be stopping it. It's just because we want to promote Certometer in colleges. That is, we are like going with this offer. Okay, so if you want to enroll, you can. I have shared the link. You can just pay $199 and you can book your seat. We will be taking only 10 students. If you want to be in that 10 students, you can just enroll with $199 and later you can pay the rest of the amount. I have shared that link in the WhatsApp group also. Okay, now let us come back with our RDS foundations. Let us come back to our RDS. Okay. So here we have something known as multi-AZ deployment. Now what is this multi-AZ deployment? When we talk about multi-AZ is nothing but A stands for availability and Z stands for zone. Okay. So it ensures that your server or your database instance is available in different zones. For example, if you are in Netflix, okay, if you are using Netflix, now Netflix produces a series, and Netflix, let's suppose a new series comes, and you want the series was produced in, let's say, US, and you want to use it or you want to view that in India. So it will take a lot of latency, it will take a lot of time for the streaming service to come. So what behind the scene happens, since Netflix uses Amazon, so behind the scene what happens, they will create replicas of that, content in different servers or locations. And what it's going to do, first it will try to fetch the content from the local server. If it is not there, then it will directly go to the main server. From there it will download to the local server, and if new request comes, it will render that particular content request from that server. Okay, that is nothing but AZ deployment is there. So that is how you can scale up your RDS or relational databases. And again, it is something which AWS provides free of cost. It is just like you just have to enable RDS check, and whenever you want to have its availability, you can go with this DC deployment. Then there is something known as read replicas. Okay, whenever there are across 5 read only instances, and they are spanning across multiple regions. Then what we can have, if any of a server is down, you can read anything which is from in peak situations. You can read, and accordingly you can offload heavy traffic across 5 radio instances. So for example, let's suppose, how many of you watch IPL? Watch IPL, right? So whenever your favorite player, let's suppose you be Virat Kohli or MS Dhoni or any other player, comes to the crease, right? Suddenly there's a huge spike in the number of viewers, right? If you can say the continuous or constant viewers are 1 CR, it will spike 10 CR instantly. That's all I know. And again, Hotstar or any other streaming application should not compromise on the quality. Fans' experience will go down. They should not compromise on the lag, right? There should not be any delay. And the third thing is, it should be available. You should be in a position to watch. If anything if happens, quality goes down, there's a lag, or the server is not available, what is going to happen? Customer experience will go down. Now imagine the developers writing the code, and accordingly they are creating the servers based on peak, you can say peak hours. And suddenly if the traffic gets out, people will switch off and they will go out, right? And therefore do the cost efficient about the servers also, right? In that case, there are read replicas which are provided by Amazon, which is going to ensure whenever there is a spike in a particular traffic, it will replicate instances, and accordingly it will pick it from different scenarios. In that case, this is very, very useful. Okay. First is multi-AZ deployment across different locations. In that also we can have multiple instances. Okay. It provides up to 5 read-only instances. One instance can cater up to I think 1 billion requests. Okay, that is 100 CR request it can cater. So 100 CR into 500 CR, and even if there is a downtime, we have the backup. Okay, so that is how we can scale up our RDS. Third, again we have elastic cache integration. Okay, instant data is required. It can deliver up to 80x faster response. So it can store some cache data which is recurring again and again. So for example, at times you might have seen that when you load your application, your ad will run with good quality, but the actual match the quality will get down, right? Or even if you have low internet, your ad will run full, no matter what. That is coming from where? It is coming from the cache. Okay. So the ad or any other related information will already be cached there, and that cache will be instantly, it is faster time, even if you have a very less internet, or even at times when internet is down, if you download it very quickly and it will display the ad first, and after that it will process the actual live stream. Okay, so these are the three things which is definitely going to make RDS elastic, and this is how you can scale up your RDS. Okay. And if you go here, you can see that there is a multi-AZ. Right now we have not done any kind of multi-AZ here. If I want, I can define the reason and the availability loads, or if I want how many resources I want, accordingly I can configure based on my databases. And is this clear, everyone? So let's just recap what we did till now. I'll just come back and recap. We started with the serverless, right? Why serverless is required? Why, what is the challenges with the server right now, basic instances? And we saw something known as event-driven execution via lambdas. In that we saved our own test cases. We ran our functions, okay? And then there was zero infrastructure cost. You need to pay as you go. And then we saw the difference between the serverless and the traditional architecture. Okay? It is event-driven, scale 0 to P, pay per use, automatic scaling there, and there is a minimal operational overhead. Okay? So this is something why we have to go for serverless flip. And this is one of the best feature of AWS. Believe me, if one feature you want to learn, that has to be Lambda. Okay? It is so good. Just if you write that you know Lambda in your resume, you are definitely going to get shortlisted by a lot of companies. Okay? So learn Lambdas, it is very good. And then yeah, we saw that how we can stop managing the infrastructure on our own. Accordingly, we can experiment faster and scale better. Okay, and then we did some Lambda functions, and in the Lambda we can have different figures. So if you go here, yeah, so we created the custom, and accordingly, if I go here, I can add another trigger if I want. Trigger is nothing but an event, and the source can be anything. You can see that it could be Alexa voice also. If you type in your Alexa, then Alexa turn on lights, right? Accordingly, you can create your smart device. Whenever there is any instruction, your smart device code will accordingly work. Okay? It can be the kind of API gateway, it can be S3, it can be real-time streaming data, which happens based on Apache and like Kafka or MQs, messaging queues, right? Or it can be from different services, right? So it provides, or it can be authentication, right? It could be payment gateway, even Shopify if you have received an order. All these things are there, over 200 plus services are there, from where you can create your triggers. And once you create your triggers, then what we can do, we can scale it with the help of like object scaling, or resilience as speed, right? Then we did a quiz, and accordingly, that's what we did till now. Okay? And yeah, then we saw how we can scale our RDS formation. So yeah, let's take a lunch break, and then let's current target at 1:45. If you have any questions for me right now, I can take for 10 minutes and then come back. Let's see how to deploy Flask application. And most of you are, I think, working on Flask. We'll deploy Flask application, we'll deploy Spring Boot application. Like, you will see the GitHub pipelines, how we can create a pipeline. So this is something like, there is no result to offer from here. Because we can make 10,000 rupees to the Amazon. This is because we have to take a GST and do that payment process. That is why they are charging really $5. It is a good offer, I think. Only for 10 minutes. You can just try it out. And again, even if you unfortunately fail, we can reward more option. That is something that we do. And here, we will be deploying a very basic Flask application. Okay. For EC2 instances. Right? So now, how to proceed? Let us see. Okay. So you can start your laptops, and you can get started with something known as
EC2 instance we will do. Okay.
Now first I will tell you what we are going to do. So we have a very basic application. Let's suppose this is my file name. Okay. This is a app.py. Okay, app.py file name. Here we have hello Terraform. And we will be deploying this, a Flask project. We will be deploying it in Ubuntu 3. Okay, Ubuntu machine. Right?
So what are the steps that you're going to do? First, look here.
And then you can follow along with me. And if you're struggling anywhere, let me know. First, we will start with creating a EC2 instance. We'll launch our instance of Ubuntu. Okay. We'll select a key pair, and from that we will choose a security group like we created yesterday in POM groups. Then we will launch, and then one by one we will update the environment of Ubuntu. Okay. Then we will install Python 3. Okay. Then we will install the Flask, and at the end we are going to run our app.py. Okay. These are the steps that you will do. So let's get started. Follow along with me. Now, if you are not able to complete, ask me. I'll help you.
This is very important. Everybody has to complete. Huh?
Yeah. If you're not able to do it, I will pay to end. Okay. Let us go to our main console and type here EC2. Okay. Launch EC2. Is this done, everyone? You are here? EC2 instances. Now you can click on launch instance. You can click on launch without a walkthrough if you don't have anything. And here you can name this as your Flask or anything. Let's say Flask application, or it can be some any other application also. If you're struggling anywhere, just stop me, okay? Repeat. Next, we are going to select Ubuntu, okay? You can use Amazon Linux also, but yesterday we did Linux, so today we'll do with Ubuntu. Now keep everything default as whatever it is provided. Okay, whatever they are providing is keep everything as default. So AMI is the Amazon machine image, which is generated randomly, and the architecture is also there. Until here, everyone? Now you go down, don't have to do any changes, okay? In the key value pair, if you have any key value pair, you can use it, or you can create a new key pair. So let us give a name as key or anything. If you already have, you choose a key pair, else you can create a new key pair, okay? Now key pair will make sure that you are the correct user of that machine, that's it. It will be linked to your account, okay? Don't have to do anything. You can click on select existing security groups if there are any, or you can create your own security group. Okay? If you have existing, you can use existing, or you can create a new security group. Here you click on allow HTTPS traffic from internet, allow HTTP traffic from internet. Okay. And then don't have to do anything, allow these. If you have an existing, use it, or you can create along with me a new security group. Okay. And once this is done, you can click on launch instance. Yeah, so our instance is already launched. It is this with this ID, and you can click on this ID, or you can click on instances, and if you click on instances, one instance will be rendered for you. Okay, this instance is running, and here you can see We have security. You can come down to security, and our inbound rules are there already. Okay, everything is in place. Don't have to do anything else. And again, when you call instances, you can see it is running right now. The instance type is T3 micro. Okay, it is by default. It can be something else as well for you. Availability zone AZ can be anything. Public IPv4 is the unique address, IP address for this machine. Okay, that is DNS, domain name server. Accordingly, monitoring and everything is not on, it is off. Accordingly, we will have a email that is your default. We click on this instance ID, and in this is a summary of the entire instance, okay, or a virtual machine. Till here, anyone 10 doubts? No doubts till here? Now you click on connect. Okay? Connect with use your public IP, or you can use anything and just let it be default. You don't have to do anything and just click on connect. So once you click on connect, you don't have to do anything, just it is going to open a new Ubuntu image. Okay? Ubuntu is nothing but a Linux operating system, not operating software.
And we will be somewhere here.
How many of you are able to reach to this level? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 6, 13, 14, 15, 20%. Good. I think many of you are able to now launch your own
PC to Ubuntu instance. Okay.
So I will be pasting the commands in WhatsApp also. Let me paste these commands in WhatsApp so it is good for you. You can just follow along. But yeah, the first command that we are going to do is PWD. PW stands for home/Ubuntu. Okay? We are right now in our home/Ubuntu directory. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to create our Python file. Okay, we are going to create our Python file. The command that we are going to do is what we are going to write? VI. VI stands for what is VI? Huh? VI editor, yes. So we are going to open VI editor, VI app.py. Now this is our editor, and in this we are going to write our code. Then what is the code that we are going to write? This is the code that we are going to write. So you can either copy paste as well. So let me share it with you. So how do you copy paste? You write shift plus what you write? Okay, it is not allowing us to paste it. It is either shift I. Okay.
हम ऐसे में ट्रैकिंग भी करेंगे
It's only when you shift I. Okay, good. For me, to show you control shift V. Ideally, shift I works. Okay. So control shift V. Yeah. You can either use control shift V or you can use shift I. Okay. Now this is the code. What is this code all about? A very simple code. We are importing a class using the class package. Then this is the app which contains the name. Basically, there is a function define hello, and here we are returning the hello class. That's it. And in this we are telling which is the code or which is the host where our Flask application will run. Anyone stuck here? So the code I have already shared over WhatsApp. Okay, you can copy it here. Make sure the indentation is same. You go here. You will type in the command. vi app.py. You type in I to insert, and then you can paste this. How will you paste it? Shift I or Control Shift V. Okay. And then what you can do, you can click on escape. Once you click on escape, then you can write a colon WQ in the bottom. Can you see WQ? What is WQ?
What is WQ?
Right, save and quit. Okay, save and quit. And if you want to see the content, what you can do, you can just type in the command cat app.py. It will give whatever the contents are there in your particular file. Anyone struggling till here? Anyone struggling here? Yeah. Now let us look at the next command. So what we did till now, we just created an instance of world2. There we just have created our one simple file. It can be a set of files also, it can be your whole project also. In the same fashion, you are going to upload or write all your files. Okay? You can upload a zip from your GitHub like we did yesterday. You can unzip it and you can just keep it here. Okay? Now next steps remains common for all your projects, any kind of project. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to update the environment. And how we are going to do it? With the help of sudo app update. And it is going to update whatever are the environments when this machine was created from that time till today. These are all the updates, and we are going to download all the packages, everything. Submitting packages updated. As here we want to see what are the upgradable packages. So the command is there, very simple command, sudo app update. Well, now next what we are going to do, we are going to install Python 3. Okay, so Python 3 is the latest versioning of Python, and this is the command sudo app -get install y stands to yes to all Python 3 -pib. Okay. So again, it is in the WhatsApp. If not, you can. I will also type it for you. Sudo followed by app -get install space -y. We have Python 3 -pip. And now we'll see that our Python packages will get installed, it will get downloaded, and all the environment will be initialized accordingly. And here, if you want to check the version, you can just type in Python version.
You can type in here Python structure.
Easy to.
Yeah.
And it has given us all these things. Okay, it has loaded all these files for us. I can quit. I can clear it. Okay. So we ran this command sudo app get installed by Python 3 pip. Now next what we are going to do is we are going to run another command that is going to install our Flask. Okay, Python 3 Flask. Same thing, sudo app install, okay, Python 3 -Flask. Okay, sudo app. Yeah, so now we are installing what? We are installing Python 3 -Flask. Okay. And here if it asks me to continue yes or no, and I'll click on directly yes, I want to continue. It will take a lot of time, not but it will take some amount of time to install. It is around 4260 MB.
Like let's say 330 KB is the size.
Completed this till here, all of you. Any doubts? So what we did, I tell you, we did this command, and once after doing it, it asked us to continue, we just continued. That's it for the installation. Done till here, everyone? Now the last command is, we just have to run our application. So how do we do? Sudo Python 3 app.py. That's it. So we write here sudo Python 3 app.py. And you can see that it is running, and here it is showing serving Flask app as debug mode is off, and here it is running on a development server because we have directly initialized it to a particular server. Okay, and it is running properly.
We get it.
So if you are getting that error where name is not recognized, okay, if anyone is getting the error where name is not recognized, what you can do, you can just put double underscores in front and after the names. Okay. So if you are getting this error, once again I just show you what error I am talking about. So here, make sure there are two underscores, not one. I think WhatsApp code changed it to one underscore. There has to be two underscores before and after name, and before and after here, and before and after main. Flask, two underscores, name followed by two underscores. Then here, if two underscore name is equal to two underscore main, everywhere there should be two underscores. Here and here. So if you are getting this error, everyone look here. Many of you should be getting this error, right? Are you getting this error? Okay, if you are getting this error, what you do, you first click on VI followed by the app.py Python. Okay. Here you first type in I is to insert. Now you will be in the insert mode. You can see here at the bottom, and now you can just go. And here everywhere, wherever there is single underscore, use double underscore. Double underscore is acceptable. Once you do it, click on escape, and then you do :WQ. :WQ, that is write and exit. And now if you run it, it will run. For all the that you do.
You have to do for all the underscores, not only for one day. As 8 also is the main name variables.
Do it for all the variables. Okay. So here, if you look at the code, there are three variables. One is this variable, and one is here. If name is equal to main, then what we are doing? We are using this file. Okay. Running now, everyone. Running this. Loadouts. All of you. Yeah, if it is running, then we can come back and we can come to our instance, and here we can click on open address, and here we can see it is deployed, right? Hello Terraform is now coming. Open incognito mode, and then you can run it. So what you can do, if it is showing like this, copy this address, okay? Here it is by HTTPS, like you need to have a certificate, but what you can do, you can just remove this S, and you can just enter, and now it should work. Is it working for how many of you it is working? 1, 2, 3. Working.
Remove cascade.
So now, will you be able to deploy your Flask projects or similar projects going forward? The process remains same, right? You have to create an instance, accordingly update that instance, then you need to, just like you run your projects, in the same machine you can run your projects, okay? Instead of app.py, you could have done wget your entire repository from GitHub, download it, unzip it, go to that particular folder and then you run it. Understood the process, everyone? Now let's try to understand what is auto scaling. Okay, auto scaling is a very important concept. After lambda, if something is there, that is auto scaling. Okay, you might get asked questions for auto scaling. So as a name suggests, whenever there is a traffic spike, okay, traffic spike, it could be in terms of, let's say if you're doing trading, right? In trading at a particular time of the day, there is a lot of trades happening, HFTs are happening, right? Or it could be when you're watching any kind of new movie. At that time, if some new releases are there, there could be a lot of, lot of spikes could be there, right? In order to do that, there is a special instance in the form of elastic beanstalk, which is nothing but, it is, you can say, a subset of EC2 that is configured, and elastic beanstalk is going to integrate auto scaling, natively eliminating a manual interventions and ensuring that the scaling happens at a frequent time. Okay? So there are three things. First is, if there is a traffic spike, you just scale out and the balance is stabilized. Okay? And this is a very subtle difference between EC2 and elastic beanstalk. When we talk about EC2, you will have a full control over virtual machine, manual setups, OS, runtime, event distribution, right? You will have the text environment. But when you talk about the elastic beanstalk, it is going to perform as a platform as a service. It is give you a platform. You will not have full control. It will just give you a small image or a subset of a particular image. Okay? It will act as a platform as a service, whereas you can think EC2 as your infrastructure as a service. Okay? Elastic beanstalk is nothing but platform as a service, where you can have automated deployment, scaling and all, and it is good for web apps, APIs, teams that you want to speed up and you want to do as fast as possible. Okay? Operational overhead is very less compared to EC2 instances. Okay? Now again, elastic beanstalk uses EC2 under the hood, and it's EC2 with guardrails and automations built in. Now, elastic beanstalk seems very similar to Lambda, but again, Lambda is event-driven, real-time data processing is happening, and APIs and scheduling background jobs are happening. But in elastic beanstalk, if you want to run a full project, could be a Spring Boot project or could be an enterprise level project, you run it or you create a web app on it, but if there is any event-driven task, you run it on AWS. Okay. It is good for running big applications and fancy applications, and it is good for if you need a granular platform control, we can go with elastic beanstalk. Okay. Okay. Now going to similar lines, I think these are sufficient for you. Services. Yeah, you can see that it is also logging in. You can see that it is logging in, and accordingly we can see that there is no icons. That's why we are getting 404 not found, but rest all requests are correct. Okay. So I can quit it from here. Control C. And you can close this. You can close this also. And if you want, you can just close this instance also. I am just keeping it, but even I can close this instance. Not a big deal. Yeah, you can stop this, and if you want, you can shut down your OS also. So I am just shutting it down. Okay, here we can go and check out elastic beanstalk. Okay, it is very good for running and managing the web applications. In the same fashion, you can create an application. Just follow me. Don't you don't have to create. I'm just showing you So you can run a website, you can run a web application or a web API using this. You can give the application name, let's say some dummy, okay. Environment name, you can just choose as it is. The platform that you want, let's say if it is Java, you can use the Java platform. And versioning you don't have to worry about because we can scale down. If our project is on Java 17 or 16 or 21 and our project is on 8, it will scale down automatically. Okay? I can upload my code or we can even have a sample application. We can have a single instance which is free tier eligible. Okay, now writing configure my services. I can choose or I can create a role. Let's create a role. Just follow me what I'm doing. Right, so again, we can have a AWS service role here, Elastic Beanstalk environment. Click on next. Click on next. And just click on, permissions are there, you can just create a role there. Okay, so yeah, we can just create a role accordingly, and these are the 9 roles which got created for me. Okay. I can come here. Yeah. Yeah, accordingly it will take the roles for me. Again, for EC2 student profile, I can to create a role. Let us create a role. You can see it is also created EC2 instance. And it is there, and again key value, one key value will already there. Click on next. So basically these are the roles like who can change my web applications. Okay, everything remains same. Subnet, everything remains same. Just click on next. Container, everything remains same. Security groups we don't want. Click on next. If I want to have any metrics in terms of logging and all, I can keep on this. I can just click on this and click on next. I can use any environment, Venkatesh and all, okay? And I can click on it like next. Now this is the application dummy, which is up and running, okay? And here you can see that it is up and running, and this is the environment. And there are how many deployments are there. Right now there are no deployments. One is in progress, it will take some time. Health and conflict, we can check what is the health of these expenses, how many requests are generated. I can see the logs as well here, okay, if any logs are generated. It is launching, it will take few minutes. We'll come back here and we'll see later on. But if we go to all applications here, if I go to all applications here, so it provides these many services, okay? And in the same fashion, if I search for Azure, so you can see that these are the services which are going to be provided for me, okay? And if you compare the services, EC2 here stands for virtual machines in Azure, okay? We have all the documentations here. These are all the free services, okay? For containers, we have databases, we have, you can just choose. And we have Azure Kubernetes service, Azure container apps, container registry. For serverless computing, we have lambdas here. In Azure, it is by the name function. Orchestration, we can have EKS. Here we have Kubernetes service. Storage is S3, then we call it a blob storage. Scaling, we have auto scaling here, but then VM scale sets are created. Batch processing, we have for same as batch. Okay. So we can use either of these two, and accordingly you will see that based on our requirement, we can use any of the cloud. Both the cloud performs almost same, but AWS is mostly used in the ICC. Okay. So that is the people don't tend to go to any other cloud service. In the same fashion, we have something known as GitHub Actions. Now in the actions, you can create a workflows. Okay, now how many of you know what is CI/CD pipeline and all those things?
You know about it? CSCD?
How many of you know about that CI/CD pipelines? What it is?
Yeah.
So when we talk about CI/CD, CI stands for continuous integration, okay, and CD stands for continuous deployment. So imagine you're working in a corporate. Let's suppose in my team there are 10 people, okay. All those 10 people will be doing some their integrations. Some must be working on any feature, another one must be working on some other feature. So if there are integrations, how do you keep the most active code or most, you can say, most recent code for everyone? That is nothing but continuous integration. And how do you make sure the application that you are running has the most recent code? That is nothing but continuous deployment. So how the pipeline works, just see here. So GitHub provides some actions, okay? I'll just show you first GitHub action diagram. So you think like this. So basically, in your GitHub, you are a developer. Accordingly, your repo is being taken by multiple developers. So once you commit in your repo, it will get built using GitHub Actions. GitHub is going to push it to Docker, okay? And then there is going to be a deploy agent which is going to pull the latest code. It is going to sync to the repository, and it is going to commit it, and it is going to deploy it in your Kubernetes. We can have other diagrams also. You can think about this diagram where you are pushing your code. GitHub is in your GitHub. GitHub generates a tag based on the workflow actions. Either it goes to the Docker, or based on the actions, it is going to fetch the code. If there is any notification on Slack, it is going to give the Slack notification. Else, it is going to build in the infrastructure. Okay. So that is how CI/CD pipeline works. And accordingly, now in GitHub, we can go to GitHub Actions. And here you can see how it looks like. We are building it. We can build it on 3 machines, Linux, Mac and Windows. And then we can publish it on the 3 machines. Okay? We can have host runners. The matter is built, any languages, everything is there. We can have our own workflows. And we can have the link files that we can create accordingly. Okay? Yeah, so this is something I wanted to show you. We will not be demonstrating it, it will take a lot of time, but this is something which happens in the industry. When there is continuous deployment, we have our GitHub workflows, okay, which we read the code and instance, give it to you. Similarly, we have something known as IaaS versus PaaS versus SaaS. Okay.
So when we talk about these 3 things,
It's very similar. Let us take in terms of AWS. Okay.
It's here.
Okay, so when we talk about infrastructure as a service, EC2 step. or S3 or VPC. Okay, these are the infrastructure. They are going to provide you virtual data centers or a virtual machine altogether. When we talk about platform as a service, Lambdas and Elastic Beanstalk is there. Then we have Fargate. All these things are platform as a service, right? They're just giving you a platform. They're not giving you the entire machine. Similarly, when we talk about this software, then we have Amazon Workspace, Chime, and QuickSign for business intelligence, which will act as a software as a service. Or you can think of Zoho. When Zoho or you can think of Zoom. Zoom will provide you a software of online meetings, right? It is a software as a service. Google Workspace is a software as a service. Okay? So these are the three important terminologies that I wanted you to understand again in terms of AWS. The common one is infrastructure. They might ask you questions like S3 is an infrastructure or a platform. It is infrastructure. Platform is Elastic Beanstalk and Lambdas. And then software, we can just claim Amazon Workspace. That is no restriction. Okay.
This.
Yeah. So I think we are almost done. If you want, you can follow us on YouTube.
Like yesterday, if you know has followed us, you can follow us on YouTube.
We will be now generating the certificates online. I will be generating your certificates of participation.
Yes. So, and you can just share that. Record to connect us on YouTube. We will connect with me on YouTube.
We are very new on YouTube, right? So
We deploy a lot of videos, but some KPIs.
we want to go to aggressively, but right now we are limited. Okay. Today's code I will be sharing it. I will be adding more videos as well there. Okay. So now let us start with the quiz. Anyone has any doubts till now? Any questions? Anything?
Related to anything? You have any questions? No questions?
Okay. In the meantime, how many of you use napkin? Napkin as the napkin, right?
How about others? Like napkin, how many of you use?
Not that napkin like AI tool. So I will just show you one tool which is very good. Okay. It will help you in your project and presentations. Okay. How many of you have heard about it at least? Or you don't know about it? How many of you don't know about the napkin AI? You know?
Have you know?
Okay, so but again I'll demonstrate. So basically what is napkin AI? It is a very good infographic tool. Okay. For example, if you want to just, let's suppose I want to demonstrate this only. Okay. What is infrastructure as a service, what is platform or what is software as a service. I can copy the textual content. Okay. I can come to napkin. I can just sign in for free. I can click on new napkin. Okay. Now in this new napkin, I will just paste my text. And I can select my whole text. If I click on the lightning button, it will first read all the text for me. Okay. And it is going to generate a very good visual graphic for or an infographic. You can see that what are the different surfaces. Okay. Accordingly, it can generate good visuals, which you can use it for your presentations. Yeah, you can use these kind of presentations. So this is one tool that you can use. Another tool that you can use for resume building is TEAL. Okay. It goes by the name TEAL. Here you can create your resumes free of cost. A very basic template you can create. You can download and then you can upload it to Claude or Copilot or Codex or anything, ChatGPT, and it will help you to create a better resume. Okay. One more tool that you can use is, it goes by the name as Final of AI. If you want to practice interviews, if you want to do mock interviews, you can use Final Round AI. It will give you one interview every day. Thus, this interview can be a mock interview in terms of communication. It can be a technical interview, or it can be any other interview, right? Telephonic interview field is there. So you can use this on a daily basis to practice for your placements. Yes, Final Round AI. These are the 3 tools that I wanted to cover in them. Okay, so let's get started with quiz. Okay, so we'll start the game. First question coming up. An EC2 instance uses its public IP before address after being started and so on. What is the reason about it?
So what really happens?
AI remains same, but public IPs are reassigned, okay, unless it is being used. So that is why we get, and yeah. Which RDS feature improves availability but not read performance? We have already seen that. What is that particular feature? Where we have availability. It is multi-AC deployment. Multi-availability source. Okay. An RDS database storage reaches 100% utilization, which feature automatically increases storage capacity? Okay, I think for everyone it is not clearly, right? No worries. So we'll move ahead. Now it is there. It's okay. For everyone it will be 0. Don't worry. So what is the maximum execution duration for a lambda function? What is the maximum execution duration for one lambda function? It can run only for, a function can run only for 15 minutes. Okay? It can never be unlimited. Only if there is a trigger, it will run only for 15 minutes. Which Azure service is equivalent to AWS EC2 instances? Is it the Azure function, app service, Kubernetes, or Azure virtual machines? Answer is Azure virtual machines. So after 5 questions, let's see. We have 3, and which Azure service is most comparable to Amazon IDs? The answer is Azure SQL database. A company requires database failover within minutes, but does not need read scaling. Which ideas are you going to use? It does not need scaling, but it wants to have a database failover within minutes. So the answer is we're going to use multi-query. It is availability zones which be there, multiple instances are there. Okay.
Okay, let's see your leader role.
Which service is truly serverless? Very easy. I think all of you should be able to answer this. Is it Azure VM, EC2, Elastic Beanstalk or Lambda? The answer is Lambda.
Leader. Two. Third.
Last two questions. Which Elastic Beanstalk environment type does not create a load balancer by default? So Elastic Bean, we have seen the multiple environments. Out of this, which will not create? Is it the web server environment or the worker environment or the TLC environment or the load balance environment? The answer is worker environment will not have any kind of load balance.
That is why we did not use worker environment.
Last question coming up. An engineer wants to know which AWS service Elastic Bean uses for automatic replace unhealthy EC2 instance. Now, which is that? Which AWS service is going to do that?
It's going to replace unhealthy EC2 instances.
CloudFront auto scaling groups. The answer is auto scaling groups. Okay.
Yeah, let's see, do they come at 3?
I want you to give the feedback and again make sure your names are correct because we will be running a script which will automatically send you the email now. Okay? So make sure your names and emails and WhatsApp number is correct. Okay? Your attendance will share it with the department people for both the days and we'll be running a script which is going to generate the certificates automatically. So make sure there are no typos in your names. No typos in your email addresses. So everyone fill the feedback. I'll be generating the script and let me know who did not receive or who has not received their certificate. Okay.